and then have that little bit of belief. He's an absolute nightmare for anybody. He's got world-class punching power. He's one of the heaviest-handed guys in the division.
Pro boxing fans here in London, it is fight week. Shane McGuigan, how are you, sir? How's things?
Good, thank you, mate. Yeah, excited. It's been a long time coming, this fight. Yeah, excited about Saturday night, and it's been great so far.
They're running it back after a good couple of years. Talk to me about improvements that you've seen from both fighters. I know they're both very advanced now, at world title level, but what have you seen from both fighters over the last couple of years?
I mean, yeah, like Riakporhe's had a win, a win against a guy that was a former world champion in Dubois, but he hasn't really been boxing at world title level, whereas Chris has in the last two fights. They've both improved a lot. Riakporhe's a lot more poised with his attacks. He sets them up better. He's got a little bit more experience. Chris is physically twice the man that he was when they first boxed 5 years ago. He's thickened right out. He's really filled into his frame, and also got the experience. Everyone knows how to throw punches, but when you come from an amateur background, but it's about how you use those shots, how you set them up, how you go about sustaining the attacks. Also having the belief going through training camps that everything's on course, even though you might have a good day, a bad day. All of these things is what plays factors on big fights like this.
I was watching the Ring Rivals from Sky Sports, and there's sort of three questions at both fighters. And from that, it seemed like Chris didn't really sort of appreciate what Rich has done in his career. But behind the scenes and off the cameras, does Chris respect Richard Riakporhe?
I think he respects him as a boxer, his ability as a boxer. I don't think he respects the way he's gone about his career. I can't put words in his mouth, but I feel like Chris has grabbed every opportunity with both hands. Like Richard's a bit like righteous, he pulled out of the Opsea thing. There's been a lot of things where he's like, he's just waiting for the stars to align, and I just believe that could be one of his downfalls.
I do want to talk about some of your other fighters. Azim, just to give us the latest on that. We are waiting, I think, on an imminent announcement at some point, but just give us anything if you can.
Should be end of August, I think. Yeah, maybe start of September. So against Harlem Eubank, we're waiting to get everything finalised, but he's in training. I mean, Sky Sports was down the other day, watched him hit the pads. He's flying. He's in good form. So yeah, little injuries healed up well, and he's ready to make a statement against Harlem Eubank and then really crack on with his career. He's not even 22 yet, which is just mad to think, but next month he'll be 22. So yeah, he's in a really good place.
Cool. I just want to talk about other bits of boxing before I let you go. A fight that's touted for September 21st, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. Daniel being a former fighter of yours. And give me your thoughts on that. We saw Daniel, what he did against Hrgovic. Seems to take a few punches all, but got the win as well. Anthony Joshua seems to be on a destructive run right now. What do you make of that fight on September 21st?
It's a great fight. Listen, when I was working with Daniel, there was so many days, he was brilliant in sparring. He was phenomenal, and I think I always felt like the maturity, once he got the ability to think for himself a little bit. Yes, his dad plays a big factor in his career, but once he starts to really think for himself when he's in fighting, not just outside life, when he's in there, and then have that little bit of belief. He's an absolute nightmare for anybody. He's got world-class punching power. He's one of the heaviest-handed guys in the division. He needed that belief. That Joe Joyce fight really knocked him back. But he's on a good run now, and I think the right hands that Hrgovic was landing just off the cuff. AJ doesn't throw them like that. He sets it up a little bit more. Can he take them shots against AJ? Probably not. But it will just be fought from AJ's standpoint, it'd be fought at a slower pace, because if you watch, Hrgovic was forcing that pace early on in the fight because he was throwing so many shots. AJ will be much more selective, so I'm intrigued. I think it'll be a really interesting fight. I think they've both got the power to really hurt each other.
And I do want to talk about Tyson Fury as well. Obviously there's a video doing the rounds, but apart from that, Johnny Nelson is saying maybe, listen, he doesn't have the upside. Maybe he doesn't come back in the ring. In your eyes, do you feel like Tyson Fury, especially after that first fight with Usyk, that he does come back and maybe we get to see the best Tyson Fury in that rematch?
Listen, I just think it's just the boxing fans and also the British population. Like people like to kick people when they're down. Do you know what I mean? And I really just think that's a shitty move. You know, the guy's obviously had his first loss of his career, and I think, you know, he's got to find a way to overcome that. He's 35, or I think he's 35 or 36 years of age now. So he's had a long, extensive career to not have a genuine loss, and you know that can change people's mindset, and it can make people feel pretty down about themselves. So, you know, I'm not going to really go and comment or go in on that. I think he can get himself right. I think the second fight's equally as competitive as the first fight will be.
Where does Alexander Usyk rank for you, though, apart from the pound for pound that we've got right now?
He was giving away so much weight in that fight, right? So pound for pound, he's got to be one. He's probably got to be the best off his recent form. You know, undisputed in 2 weights, but also giving away. It's not like, I mean, Crawford's done it, but he's not giving away that much weight. You know what I mean? It's like that unnatural weight that he was giving away to Tyson Fury, who, you know, is a very good fighter. Do you know what I mean? He's got to be up there, pound for pound, probably number one just off his wins.
Obviously, you were in Saudi a couple of weeks ago. We saw Deontay Wilder with a devastating loss against Zhilei Zhang. I want to ask you, that trilogy that he had with Tyson Fury, how much do you believe is taking it out of both fighters?
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Wilder, does it? I think with a guy like that, if he's not competitive, he should get out of the game, because his punching power was what always set people back and sort of was able to settle people down. Whereas, you know, if he doesn't have that, if he's lacking the confidence to throw his shots, he's never going to be a guy that's just got the punch resistance of, you know, a prime Joe Joyce, does he? He's always been a bit slightly vulnerable, so he needs to get. I think he needs to get out of he needs to get out of boxing, just because he will tarnish a lot of the good work he's done over the years. You know, look at Roy Jones. One minute he was, you know, the pound for pound best fighter in the world, went from super middleweight the whole way up to heavyweight, winning titles, and then he's a shell of himself. I wouldn't want to see that for Deontay Wilder's sake.
Finally, just going off what you said, we see a 45-year-old Manny Pacquiao returning to the ring against Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. Yeah, it's been put out there. What do you make of Manny returning back to the ring?
I mean, I don't know. It's just like he's had some performances in the past that you felt like, well, I think it was it Jeff Horn? Everyone was like, he's shot then, and then he come back and had a couple of great performances afterwards. I don't think he can do it at 45 years of age. I don't think he can be competitive at 147. It's a guy that just obviously loves to fight. I'm sure he's got more than enough money, got more than enough fame. I just think sometimes he probably just loves the knock a little bit too much. But yeah, I don't think he should be boxing.
Cool. Shane, always a pleasure to talk to yourself. Thank you so much. We'll talk to Pro Box fans as always. Thank you, mate.